a nice warm welcome. Thank you, guys.
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about Fenty Puma Spring 2018. At the beginning of this conference, Anna was talking about these amazing kind of immersive experiences that we had at a lot of the collections. Mr. Vaccarello took us to the Eiffel Tower, we were in gardens, we were in Italian castles and everything. And I think for everyone who experienced it, your show was one of the sort of exhilarating highlights. There was that incredible motocross moment that just about gave me heart failure, but certainly kind of electrified the week. What was your thinking behind that collection?
Well, the Spring Summer 18 collection was a very odd combination and fusion of two very complete extremes of the sport world. Right. From surf to motocross. You can't even see how those things even work together. It's not even on the same playing field. Right. One is on water, one is on some crazy dirt biking situation. And I thought it would be cool to just, you're just looking for inspiration. And sometimes inspiration is right there, but it's a matter of just putting two odd worlds together to make something that's new. And that's what I enjoy doing, and it worked for that collection. Yes.
Well, you've done it before, too. I mean, in the show you showed in Paris, that was kind of a Marie Antoinette moment mixed with
sport.
Yeah, yeah. So do you think it's important to create experience in the way that you did with the motocross? Do you think that's a key component of putting on a show itself?
Well, I think it's all a matter of storytelling. For me, it's creating the environment to tell the story of the product. And the product in that case was the clothing. And I wanted people to feel what I was trying to portray. I wanted them to feel what the clothes were trying to say. And before you even see that, you're already in an environment that creates the world for you to kind of start telling the story. But I think it's important that the right clothes are shown in the right place.
Right. What brought you back to New York for that show? Because it was a season that saw Tom Brown and Joseph and earlier Proenza and Rodati leaving New York, as it were, to show in Paris and have that kind of experience, which you'd already done. What brought you back to New York?
It was convenient.
Right. Good reason.
I had so much to do that week. It was a matter of Diamond Ball and Fenty Beauty, and that just dropped right in the middle of everything, and it was inevitable that it had to be here. But I mean, I loved Paris.
Yes.
But New York is where the story of Fenty Puma began, and for my final collection with them, it wasn't even something to think twice about.
Right. Mm-hmm. Do you have an idea where you're going next?
In terms of?
Well, in terms of a venue or in terms of inspiration and...
I mean, I know where I'm going next, but I can't tell you that.
No.
What's the fun of that?
Right. What sort of things are exciting you now in fashion and for your fashion, for Fenty? What kind of inspirations do you look to? What sort of...
Well, you know what I'm really enjoying right now? I love the tailored looks that feel fresh and feel youthful, and something I feel like I can wear even maybe with sneakers or my hair just tied up in a ponytail. And there's this whole, I mean, fashion always has a way of coming full circle.
Right.
And I feel like even right now I'm seeing a lot of moments on the runway that I've seen my mom dress like, and now I'm feeling like, does that mean I'm old, or does that mean it's new and it's fresh? But I enjoy it. That's my favorite stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your long-term goals for Fenty, for the Fenty Puma, for the brand?
Well, I have long-term goals in fashion.
Yes.
Not so much with any one brand. You just never know what's going to happen. And I enjoy fashion. That's the thrill. It's a challenge, and you can only keep learning and growing and evolving every time you do something or think of something or make a collection. I can only hope to continue to evolve, and I take it seriously. I have a lot of respect for the industry.
What first turned you on to the idea of fashion or style? How did that happen for you?
It started with really bad style.
Right.
You gotta start somewhere though, right?
Of course.
It started with really, wow, yeah. Let's not even go back to those chapters. But you live and you learn.
Right.
And you learn from your mistakes. And I'm always up for a challenge. So if I don't get it right the first time, it could be the first 100,000 times. I'm gonna keep trying until I think I figured it out. But it had a lot to do with me finding myself, me knowing exactly who I am, exactly my don'ts, knowing my boundaries, and then there's not a lot of boundaries with fashion with me, really. I kind of just want to do everything in the most extreme, outrageous way possible. But it had a lot to do with me knowing myself, knowing who I am, and knowing what I am as a brand, and what my mood is that day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think that as a celebrity designer, you've been held to a different kind of standard, in a way?
And rightfully so. I think I would be a fool to expect anything less. I also, I believe that everybody should be accountable, especially as a designer and a brand and a name. And I enjoy the most when someone who is not a fan of mine walks into a store and buys something because they love the piece, love the product, whether it's makeup or clothes. That really tells me a lot, and that tells me that you genuinely love what I have to offer. It's nothing to do with me, favoritism, or it's a collector's piece because they're part of the Navy or something.
Right.
I love when things are respected solely because of how great they are and nothing to do with my name. So I'm all down for the higher standard.
And what's the process? How did you go about putting together a team? How do you, your kind of creative team, and how do you collaborate with them? I mean, how does it actually work, especially when you're kind of on the road, and you were sort of explaining that you almost had to slot in the New York show in New York for convenience sake. What's the process? What's the process, first of all, of putting the team together?
I think putting my team together is probably the most important part of the whole process, is the beginning. You want people that are better than you at their job. If I can do your job better than you, I can't hire you. That's a waste of my money and time. But if you have something to offer, then I know there's an expertise that I respect, and I put people in place based on what their strengths are. And I'm only as great as my team, and I pay very special attention to that. But most importantly, I love people that want better for them and their position, because when it comes down to working for you, I mean, they could come to work and hate me one day and just flop at their job just on spite, So I really care about people who respect their job and their position and their art. And I have a great team, so I've been lucky. So.
Can we talk a bit about Fenty Beauty? Is that something that has interested you for a long time? Is it an area that you wanted to get involved in?
Oh, yes. I've always wanted to do makeup. The angle of where I wanted to begin with makeup has changed and evolved as the years went by, but For years, I've always wanted to do it. I mean, I love it, I enjoy it, I'm passionate about it, and I wanted it to be right. And so I never wanted it to be a rushed project. I always wanted it to be something that was respected. And if I feel like I'm not there yet, I'm not even gonna make an attempt. So I did my research over the years, and I even started working on something independently, but it was very premature, and I was just getting used to textures and terms and factories and stuff like that. But when I met my partners, Kendo, it was like plugging into a machine. They know exactly what they're doing when it comes to that. I just put my ideas in.
And what did you want the brand to represent?
I mean, I wanted it to be something that girls love, women love. I wanted it to be respected by professionals, and I wanted to do something that felt like me, something reflective of things that I love and makeup that I genuinely want to wear. And we've had this amazing emotional connection with customers who've never been able to find their shade of foundation before. I mean, like women crying at the counters. It's crazy to even think about, because when I first started creating the brand and making foundation, it wasn't that deep for me. The first woman I ever saw put makeup on her face is a black woman. That's my mom. And so when I'm thinking of my customer, that is one of my customers, and I wanted everybody to feel like they can come and be a part of the Fenty Beauty moment and the new generation, in my words.
Why do you... Well, it's been a staggering success for all the reasons that you've just pointed out, and its authenticity, of course. Why do you think it's taken the beauty industry so long to embrace women of color, a diverse range of skin tones? Why do you think you had to come and fill that gap?
I don't know. It blows my mind, actually. But I don't really know. I don't know if people are afraid of doing things that aren't safe, or things that are unknown, or they don't know how much money they can make in a certain shade. I don't know. But I feel like there are a lot of brands who've been widening their ranges of shade tones, and I just think they haven't had a chance to have a moment, or people even know about it. I don't think I'm the first one ever to do it. I'm happy that I can present something of quality and something that women can feel included when they get to a makeup counter.
Right, great. Your look obviously is constantly evolving and morphing and changing in the most thrilling and influential way. With your albums, there's always a very sort of distinct visual identity in terms of the hair and makeup and the clothes. How do you connect the fashion message with what you're doing musically?
It kind of, there's no disconnect.
Right.
The minute I hear a song, a beat, anything like that, it automatically propels me into a visual fantasy. And along with that comes the fashion, the makeup, the energy, the how dark it is, how light it is. I always know that the minute I hear the music. So everything comes into one.
You've always supported emerging talent, exciting new designers. We just saw you in an amazing kind of frothy blue Molly Goddard dress, British designer with sneakers. Casual, I think, was your Instagram title for that Damo Camellia moment. What are you looking for in young designers, or what turns you on? What are you excited by?
Being first.
Right.
Being first to find something that nobody's discovered yet, or a piece. You know, the people who are, I mean, well established and rightfully so. These brands that we all look forward to seeing what they do. And all eyes are on them, you know? And I feel like there's hidden talent where the eyes are not. And I enjoy, the thrill for me is being the first one to wear something like this Tom Ford today. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. But I also enjoy fresh perspective, new perspective, young, youthful ideas that, I mean, even if it's outrageous, I love the challenge of making something work, as crazy as it could be.
Talking about sourcing under the radar designers might see nicely into your Met looks, and particularly your China Through the Looking Glass and Guo Pei, I think one could fairly say a little-known designer until you materialized on the Met red carpet in that incredible yellow cloaked robe. How does that process come about? How did you even research that? What was that process?
I actually started in Anna Wintour's office.
Okay.
I went to meet with her about a project, a completely different subject. And in the midst of it, she presented me with all these images of designers who were going to be a part of the Met exhibition that year. And her words verbatim was, please wear something that reflects the culture of the Chinese people. And I started Googling. I just went home and started Googling. Chinese couture, Chinese couture, Chinese couture. Avant-garde, avant-garde. And I just found like these incredible images, but this one, it was so extreme and so outrageous. And it was of a designer I never heard of before, but she was Chinese, and I thought, I can't lose with this.
Right.
And it just, that first fitting is where I got nervous.
Oh, really?
Yes, when it took me and 3 people to hold it on me, I thought, okay, if I remember correctly, there's stairs going up the Met Ball. Okay, so maybe if I get people to help me up the stairs, then I can change in the elevator, which happened, by the way. But before that, there's the car ride.
Yeah, how did you actually get there?
Do I have to arrive in a stretch limo? Oh, yes, I do. And I did it. But there was choreography even within the stretch limo. The coat went in first and stayed away from me. And we had to pile the coat closer to the door. And so I sat next to the coat, and I had everybody get out first to pull the train out. And then I just put my arms in really quick, and then I went. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but I mean, thank God we made it up those stairs.
Had you rehearsed going upstairs in it?
No. No. It was, we didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, I circled the block like 3 times before I actually got out because I kept thinking, this is too much. What am I doing? Circle, circle, 3 times.
It was worth the effort. You were also back at the Met for a movie project that touches Vogue in a way for Ocean's 8. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that project, who you play, and for people who don't know, perhaps a little...
Yeah, we're pretty much robbing the Met Ball. Right? Typical Met Ball. Just kidding. But we had a blast. It's hard. I end up working with women by default. Right. Not by default, because they're like insanely great at their job.
Right.
But all my life, I've been surrounded by boys. I've been surrounded by boys in school, like that, those were my friends, so I always gravitated toward that. So I couldn't imagine, you know, girls have always been catty. You know, most of us are girls in here, we catty. But I got on set and I was like, 8 girls, directed by one man. Wow, I felt bad for poor Gary, but we had a blast, and I enjoyed mostly the fact that we were 8 strong women who are so different from each other. And even in the film, our roles are so different. Everyone has their strength, and everyone is there for a reason. And I mean, I can't wait for you guys to see it, but I never thought I would have that much fun at work, on set of a movie. Movies always, they give me pressure. Cameras in general, like especially film, I get so nervous, but you didn't even feel the camera there. Gary's such a great director, and the women were all incredible.
Were you involved in collaborating on the look of your character?
Yes. I couldn't believe he was giving me that much freedom, but he kind of just...
Who is your character? Do you want to give us a little...
Well, her name is... Oh, should I say this? Do you know this? Is that out yet? Can I say that? Yeah? Who's answering that? Do you work for them? I might get in trouble over this, but...
You don't have to give us the name. You could give us a little assessment of who she is, what she represents, and
She's
how
a hacker.
She was styled to match.
She's a hacker.
Okay.
But she has dreads. She loves Bob Marley. She smokes pot. And she really does not care. When it comes to her style, she has a thing she likes, and she would wear that over and over again. The same jeans, the same jumper, the same shoes every single day, the same headband or tam. And I enjoy that. She wore the same jewelry, the same earrings every single day, and...
That must have been a novelty.
Well, you know what? My jeans have been abused.
Okay.
They have gone through it. No, really, I actually give myself some homework to get some jeans. See, my stylist is in the front there laughing because he's disgusted by it. But I relate to her in that way.
Right.
The jewelry, maybe not so much. But I enjoyed her character because it said a lot about her sense of security with herself, the confidence, and she was only there to do her job. And I love that. She's pretty badass.
Great. Well, we can't wait to see you in
I
it.
have you to see.
And on that note, I'm so sad because it's been heaven.
Aww.
We have to wrap.
Well, thank you guys. And thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Of course. My pleasure.